PlayStation drops the details on their brand new subscription service plans. Nintendo announces that we're going to have to wait for the sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And we get a brand new look at Top Gun Maverick before the movie drops in May. All that and the latest and everything cool today in The Rundown. Hey, welcome to The Rundown. My name is Victor Lucas, and I'm thrilled to see you here in the Electric Playground. Today's episode is brought to you by the Gaming Stadium. They are Canada's leader in online esports tournament facilitation. They've got tournaments happening every single weekend that you don't want to miss out on, and you can find out all about them at tgs.gg. And TGS also has a brand new service. It's called pepper.gg, and this is all about putting on your own tournaments. It's free, it's fun, and it will help you build a little bit of a community around some of the games that you like to play with your friends. So check it out at pepper.gg. And today's episode is dedicated to Fairbrand7, who said, "Would be funny to see you and Tommy to debate over this Kirby game." Haha. The old Air Ride review was hilarious. And he's talking about an infamous review where Tommy and I reviewed Kirby Air Ride. He did not enjoy it as much as I did. Which was kind of par for the course with a lot of the Kirby stuff that we talked about. But the new one, Kirby and the Forgotten Land, it's aces. Very, very cool game. All right, let's talk about the big news that happened in the world of PlayStation today. We knew it was coming, and PlayStation finally announced that they have got a brand new subscription service series of plans that are going to be launching in different territories starting this June, and they're rolling things out a little bit differently. It's not going to be worldwide all at the same time because this is a big deal that we're talking about. PlayStation is kind of launching with 700 games across a variety of different platforms through 3 different tiers, and they are called different things. We've got PlayStation Plus Essential, which is essentially what PlayStation Plus is right now, and that's going to be at $60 a year in the US or $9.99 monthly. There's going to be PlayStation Plus Extra, which is going to go up to $99 a year or $14.99 monthly in the States, and that's going to add a catalog of 400 PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 games. So it's not the brand new titles that are coming out day and day. It's not all the PlayStation Studios stuff that we all covet, but those will be added. So it's going to be a bit of a back catalog from like probably 6 months prior or something like that, or maybe a year prior. And then there's another tier which is called PlayStation Plus Premium, and this one provides 340 additional games from the PlayStation 3 era, but those have to be cloud streamed. And then there are a catalog of classic games that you can stream and also download and play off your PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. And these are from the PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, and the PSP, which is incredibly exciting. And the pricing on this new PlayStation Plus Premium is $120 US a year or $17.99 a month. And, you know, I think what they're trying to do here is provide a bunch of different ways in on this content. It makes sense strategically when you think about all of the cards that they hold, but it is a bit of a confusing announcement because there's just so many different terms that people have to kind of remember and pricing structures that people have to remember. That's the challenge that PlayStation has right now. They've got several months ahead of them where they need to distill this information. They know they need to show people the benefits of how these games will be played on modern consoles and the improvements conceivably that these games will have. If you play a PlayStation portable game on the PS5, is it going to rock? Let's hope so. PlayStation's got its work cut out for them. But when you look over at what Xbox has, they've got Xbox Live Gold and Xbox Game Pass and Xbox Game Pass Ultimate and Xbox Game Pass for PC, and then there's xCloud. And if you get the Ultimate Edition of Game Pass, you get all of that stuff rolled in, but they've also got these different pricing tiers. The one thing that Xbox definitely is very clear on, though, is the games that they publish are day and date released on the Game Pass service, and Sony isn't willing to do that. And PlayStation CEO had some words to say about that when he spoke with GameIndustry.biz. He said, "In terms of putting our own games into this service or any of our services upon their release, as you well know, this is not a road that we've gone down in the past, and it's not a road that we're going to go down with this new service. We feel if we were to do that with the games that we make at PlayStation Studios, that virtuous cycle will be broken. The level of investment that we need to make in our studios would not be possible, and we think the knock-on effect on the quality of the games that we make would not be something that gamers want." And that's an interesting comment because clearly they're spending a fortune on making their PlayStation Studios titles. They look incredible. They're some of the best in the business period, when you stack it up against what Xbox has been investing on so far. Now that they've bought all these studios, we'll see how that changes. And even against Nintendo's first party, the PlayStation stuff is incredibly strong, and it's always exciting to see that PlayStation Studios logo and know that you're going to get something that costs a lot of money, at least. You may not love it, but you know that they spent a lot of money. So it is interesting. They're obviously bean counting and doing the numbers on all this. But there was something else in the article that Jim Ryan said that caught my eye. So I don't want to cast anything in stone at this stage. All I'm talking to today is the approach we're taking in the short term. The way our publishing model works right now. It doesn't make any sense. But things can change very quickly in this industry, as we all know. And I took that in because my knee-jerk reaction to this announcement is that, oh man, they've really muddied the water. They've made this incredibly confusing, and there's going to be a lot of people up in arms about this statement. And it's certainly not the irrefutable decision or the irrefutable choice for everybody out there to subscribe to this immediately. But that doesn't preclude PlayStation from, A, making a great bunch of announcements about what you do get out of these different pricing structures, and also, changing course down the road and saying, you know what, we are going to start launching PlayStation Studios titles day and date with this, especially if Xbox takes this opportunity to simplify their message and maybe fold in services at a lower price point to be even more competitive. It's going to be an interesting back and forth between these two juggernauts. PlayStation is absolutely going to be working with a lot of the same partners that Xbox is. I am very curious to see the titles that will be delivered day and date. And I'm incredibly excited to see what happens with the classic stuff. How the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 and PSP stuff is handled by the PS5. I really hope it's an incredible experience. And I also hope that Sony changes its mind about emulating PlayStation 3 stuff directly on the hardware of the PlayStation 5. I really want to see incredible titles like MotorStorm and Mod Nation Racers and a ton of PS3 games that kind of struggled under that architecture run wonderfully on PS5 hardware. I think that would be insane. There are a lot of great PS3 games that could really benefit from being able to play them on the modern PlayStation 5, or maybe a PS5 Pro next year. Who knows? But you know what? I want to hear from you guys. Obviously, the conversation around PlayStation subscription services is just beginning. It's like a new day for how Sony is going to be delivering a lot of their titles, and it's incredibly exciting. I am not overwhelmed by this news. I'm still kind of figuring it out, but there is a lot of good news in this news. And I can't wait to learn more. But I do want to hear from you guys. What did you think about the announcement? What do you think about the pricing? Are you going to be coming in on that premium tier and having access to all of those classic PlayStation games? Let me know in the comments below. And let's shift our focus over to the world of Nintendo, who had some rather disappointing but not surprising news about the next Zelda. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild's producer Eiji Aonuma took to a video today on Nintendo's YouTube and Twitter platforms to announce that the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild sequel has been delayed to 2023, and he cited the fact that this is a game that is going to deliver vast improvements in scale compared to what was in Breath of the Wild, which was already mind-blowing. So we're going to be adventuring in the skies and across the great lands of Hyrule, and he promises lots and lots of other massive surprises. So this is clearly, I think I can call it, the most ambitious game for the Nintendo Switch that's in development, and it isn't a big surprise to think that, wait, we're going to delay this to 2023 because it needs to be perfect. It needs to kind of supplant our love and our memories of the first original game, which is still, Breath of the Wild is still my favorite game of all time. So I am exceedingly excited about this game, and you guys know my philosophy around this. Make it great, and we'll wait. I think that is totally fine for Nintendo to take the time that it needs in order to knock this one out of the park. But when a game of this magnitude is announced as being delayed, of course the mind starts wandering about all of the permutations and reasons why, and perhaps business decisions why. And one of the things that I think clearly comes to mind is that maybe this is going to be tied to some new hardware that Nintendo is going to release in 2023. The first Breath of the Wild was incredibly important to the Switch, but it was also playable on Wii U. And are we going to have a similar kind of occurrence here with the sequel to Breath of the Wild? Is it going to be playable on the core Switch and also some enhanced version of the Nintendo Switch? That doesn't seem too far-fetched. We're going to be into our 6th year of the Nintendo Switch hardware next year, and this long-rumored next iteration of the Switch, it's feeling more and more like it's ripe for the plucking, and this might be the game that kind of solidifies that, and we might see some really extended, beautiful benefits from playing on future hardware. Of course, nothing's announced. It's all conjecture. It's all speculation. I can't be the only one on YouTube that is thinking that and mulling that over. But what do you guys think? Do you think we're going to get new hardware tied to the release of this new adventure for Link and Zelda? I think that's incredibly possible and not unlikely, because the rumors are already starting to circulate around a PS5 Pro, and conceivably that might be something that Sony releases in 2023 as well. And the Switch has already had an incredible run. Let's face it, the Switch is an amazing platform. I am so excited to play this game, but I want Nintendo to crush it, and it would be incredibly exciting if this comes bundled alongside brand new hardware. Let me know what you guys think about that, and are you dismayed that we have to wait, or does it make sense to you? Okay, I've got one last thing to tell you guys about. The new trailer for Top Gun Maverick launched today, and boy, does it echo a lot of the classic Top Gun moments that we know, including we see children of characters that we know from the original Top Gun film. The one thing that I would say about this trailer, if you watch it in its entirety, is that, boy, you get a lot of the surprise ripped out of the film and put into this trailer. It does feel like you see a lot of the movie in this trailer. Tom Cruise is reprising his role as Maverick, who is kind of a reluctant teacher to a bunch of new Top Gun pilots, and it looks like everybody got into cockpits and everybody, barfed into bags and it broke the speed of sound. We're going to see some pretty incredible aerial stunt work. Interesting time to be releasing a movie like this because of all of the stuff that's happening in Ukraine right now. I don't know if the Russians are going to be the bad guys in this movie when it comes out, but that could be very on the nose. Holy crap. I am very psyched to see this movie. It's directed by Joseph Kosinski, who's got a great eye. He did Tron Legacy, and he also did Oblivion, the Tom Cruise film, and I think that's why they've created this partnership around this. All of the shots and the cinematography and the aerial choreography looks breathtaking. Top Gun Maverick comes out on May 27th, kicking off our summer, and hopefully it's a good summer and a good movie. All right, you guys, that's going to do it for the rundown today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back very soon. Thank you for hitting that subscribe button, and thank you especially to all of our EPN members. We'll see you soon, and until then, play forever.